Welcome to my channel. If you've ever come across a Kennedy half-dollar coin and wondered if it's worth more than 50 cents, you're in the right place. Some of these coins can be worth thousands or even millions of dollars. Yes, really. In today's video, we're going to explore everything you need to know about Kennedy half-dollars, including rare dates, valuable mint marks, silver content, and the hidden details that make certain coins extremely collectible. Make sure you watch this video all the way to the end, because the most valuable Kennedy half-dollar might be the one you already own, and we'll reveal it before the video ends. Don't miss a second. First up, the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar coin with no mint mark. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark might seem like just another old coin, but what if I told you it's far more valuable than most people think? At first glance, it looks like ordinary change. But if you know what to look for, this coin can be worth much more than its face value of 50 cents. It could even be a hidden treasure in your collection, pocket change, or family coin jar. This specific coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which at that time didn't use a mint mark. So if you're holding a 1971 Kennedy half-dollar and there's no letter under Kennedy's neck, that means it was made in Philadelphia. But here's where it gets interesting. This was the first year that Kennedy half-dollars were made without any silver content at all. From 1964 through 1970, these coins had silver, first 90%, then 40%. In 1971, the mint switched completely to a copper-nickel-clad composition, and that change makes this year incredibly significant, both historically and numismatically. But what makes this coin far more valuable than most realize isn't just the composition or design. It's the potential for rare errors, surprising variations, and high-grade examples that are extremely hard to find today. Even though the Philadelphia Mint struck over 155 million of these coins, not all of them are the same, and some are worth far more than others. Let's start with one of the biggest surprises. A small number of 1971 Kennedy half-dollars without mint marks were mistakenly struck on leftover silver planchets from 1970. These planchets were intended for 40% silver coins, but a few slipped through and were used in 1971. These silver-era coins are incredibly rare and valuable, some selling for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on their condition. If you have one of these era coins, you're holding something far more valuable than average. You can check if your coin might be silver by weighing it. A regular clad 1971 Kennedy half-dollar weighs about 11.34 grams. But if it's on a silver planchet, it will weigh slightly more, around 11.5 grams or more. Another trick is the sound test. Tap the coin lightly on a hard surface and listen. Silver coins ring with a high-pitched sound, while clad coins make a duller noise. These simple tests can help you identify something extraordinary. But that's not all. This coin also has known double die varieties. That means the coin's design was impressed twice at slightly different angles during production. The result? Visible doubling on the letters in Liberty, on the motto, "In God We Trust," or even the date itself. These double die coins are considered rare and collectible, and far more valuable than a regular strike. Even minor doubling can make a coin worth several dollars, while strong examples can bring in much more. Other errors include off-center strikes, die clashes, and die cracks. An off-center strike occurs when the coin isn't perfectly aligned during minting, leaving part of the design missing or shifted. If the date is still visible on an off-center strike, its value jumps even higher. Die clashes leave ghostly outlines of the reverse image on the front of the coin, or vice versa. And die cracks create raised lines on the surface of the coin, small, jagged imperfections that collectors love to find. All of these errors can make your 1971 no mint mark Kennedy half-dollar far more valuable than 50 cents. But even without an error, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its worth. Most of these coins were released into circulation and picked up nicks, scratches, and wear. That means finding one in pristine condition without damage or heavy wear is difficult. And that's exactly what makes high-grade coins worth far more than average. Collectors seek coins with sharp strikes, strong details in Kennedy's hair and face, and clean fields with minimal marks. A coin that still shines with its original mint luster and has never been cleaned or damaged can sell for a premium. Even one tiny step up in quality can make a big difference in value. Coins with deep details, full rims, and strong edge reading are especially prized. Another tip: pay attention to how your coin looks under good lighting. Does it have unusual shine or contrast? Does the detail seem sharper than normal? Some 1971 Kennedy half dollars have proof-like surfaces, even though they're not actual proofs. These coins were struck early in the life of a die and can have mirror-like fields and frosted devices. While not true proof coins, they are collectible and often bring higher prices. Even the edges of the coin tell a story. Look closely at the edge. If it shows an unusual color, a solid silver look, or an unexpected pattern, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet, possibly from a foreign coin. These are very rare but known to exist. And again, they are worth far more than regular examples. What makes this coin truly fascinating is its place in history. In 1971, inflation, rising silver prices, and a changing U.S. economy led the mint to remove silver from circulating half dollars completely. That makes this coin not just a piece of money, but a symbol of the changing times. It marked the end of silver in everyday change and the start of a new era in U.S. coinage. Despite its high mintage, the 1971 no-mint mark Kennedy half dollar is harder to find in exceptional condition today. Most circulated examples are worn, and many people don't even recognize the coin when they see it. Half dollars aren't used as much anymore, which makes any Kennedy half dollar, especially from 1971, an item of curiosity and collector interest. So if you find one, don't overlook it. Weigh it. Listen to it. Look for doubling, unusual surfaces, and strong strikes. Every detail matters. You could be holding a coin that's not only part of American history, but also worth far more than its face value. Whether you're a new collector or someone who just found this coin in a jar of change, it's worth taking a closer look. The 1971 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark isn't just a common coin. It could be a rare error, a high-grade survivor, or even a leftover silver strike. All of these possibilities make this coin far more valuable than most people think. Next up, the 2023 Kennedy half dollar coin with a P mint mark. The 2023 Kennedy half dollar with a P mint mark is a modern coin that's quickly gaining attention among collectors and enthusiasts. While it may seem like a typical issue at first glance, this Philadelphia minted coin holds more than just face value. With its unique mintage context, design continuity, collector demand, and potential for rare errors, the 2023 P Kennedy half dollar is already becoming a coin to watch closely. Let's start with the basics. The Kennedy half dollar series began in 1964, shortly after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy in November 1963. The coin was introduced as a tribute, and ever since, it has held a firm place in U.S. coinage. While its usage in daily commerce has declined significantly over the years, the coin still remains in production, largely for collectors and bulk coinage programs. In 2023, the U.S. Mint continued the Kennedy half dollar series. The version struck in Philadelphia bears the P mint mark, placed just above the date on the obverse. What sets the 2023 P coin apart is not just its fresh strike or mint luster. It's how it represents the ongoing legacy of an American icon in coinage, while also offering collectors an affordable modern issue with the potential for strong future value, especially in high-grade or error forms. Although Kennedy half dollars haven't been released into general circulation since 2001, the Mint continues to produce them in large numbers for collectors, bulk sales, and coin programs. In 2023, the Philadelphia Mint struck millions of these coins. But here's the twist. Even with high mintage numbers, many of these coins were never distributed through banks or stores. They were sold directly to collectors or used in special packaging. That means the average person is unlikely to find one in daily pocket change. This makes the 2023 P. Kennedy half dollar more collectible than you might assume. While it's not rare in terms of production, its limited exposure to circulation preserves its condition. As a result, a larger percentage of 2023 Kennedy half dollars remain in uncirculated or near mint condition. But the real value lies in finding coins with exceptional strike, surface preservation, and potential mint errors. Let's talk about what to look for when examining a 2023 P. Kennedy half dollar. First, pay attention to the coin's luster and surface. Since these coins are relatively new, they should show strong cartwheel luster, a reflection that moves in a circular pattern as the coin is tilted under light. The better the luster and the fewer the marks, the more desirable the coin becomes to collectors. Another factor is strike quality. The Philadelphia Mint has improved its quality control significantly over the years, but minor weaknesses in strikes still occur. A strong strike will show full hair detail on Kennedy's portrait, clean lettering in Liberty, and sharp definition in the eagle's feathers on the reverse. Coins with weak strikes, even if uncirculated, are less appealing to advanced collectors. Now let's explore the error possibilities. Even in modern minting, mistakes happen. For 2023 Kennedy half dollars, errors like die cracks, die chips, off-center strikes, and double dies are all possible, though rare. A die crack may appear as a raised line across the coin surface, usually in the fields or through Kennedy's portrait. Die chips are small blobs of metal where the die started to break down. These often show up around the letters, stars, or even Kennedy's eyes and ears. A more sought-after error is the double die. On the 2023 P. Kennedy half dollar, you should check for doubling on the word Liberty, "In God We Trust," and the date. Any noticeable separation or shadow-like appearance of the letters could signal a double die variety. These coins can sell for much more than face value, especially when certified by experts. Another potential value boost is misaligned dies or off-center strikes. These occur when the dies are not properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to shift. A small off-center strike may only bring modest premiums, but a dramatic one, where part of the design is missing, can increase the coin's value significantly. The more visible and dramatic the error, the more collectors will pay. Even though the 2023 P. Kennedy half dollar is a modern coin, it can hold strong long-term value in high grade. Collectors and investors are always searching for the best examples of every year's coinage, and early strikes in perfect condition tend to be the most sought after. If you find a 2023 Kennedy half dollar with a strong strike, brilliant luster, and no visible marks or damage, you could be looking at a coin that becomes more valuable over time. Toning is another area of interest. While most modern coins are expected to remain bright and shiny, some 2023 half dollars may develop natural toning. Colors like gold, blue, purple, or rainbow hues. This often occurs due to the way coins are stored and exposed to air. Attractive, colorful toning is often favored by collectors and can make even a modern coin more desirable. Another angle worth considering is demand from registry set collectors. These collectors aim to build complete sets of coins in the highest possible grades. Even a modern issue like the 2023 P. Kennedy half dollar can fetch higher prices if it's among the top examples in existence. While millions may have been minted, only a few may reach perfect or near perfect condition. The closer a coin gets to perfect preservation, the more attention it receives. Let's also not forget the historical connection. The Kennedy half dollar is more than just a piece of money. It's a continuing tribute to a U.S. president whose legacy left a permanent mark on the nation. For many collectors, the value of the 2023 P coin is enhanced by its connection to this legacy. Even new collectors often begin their journey with a Kennedy half dollar, making it one of the most popular and enduring coin series in American history. In a time when coin collecting continues to grow online and through social media, more people are discovering the hobby, and modern issues like the 2023 Kennedy half dollar are perfect entry points. They're affordable, historically meaningful, and full of potential surprises, from mint errors to rare condition varieties. So, if you come across a 2023 Kennedy half dollar with a P mint mark, take a closer look. Examine the details. Check the strike. Look for shine, toning, and unusual marks. Flip it over and scan the reverse for sharpness and alignment. Even though it's a modern coin, it might be far more valuable than you expect, especially if you catch a rare error, a perfect strike, or a limited mintage variation in the right setting. Whether you're new to coin collecting or expanding your US coin set, the 2023 P. Kennedy half dollar is a coin worth watching, holding, and understanding. It's more than modern change. It's a piece of ongoing American numismatic history. Next up, the 1972 Kennedy half dollar coin with no mint mark. The 1972 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark is one of those coins that many people overlook, yet it can be far more valuable than you might expect. At first glance, it seems like an ordinary piece of pocket change. But the truth is, if you take the time to examine this coin closely, it could be worth far more than just 50 cents. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 1972, which at the time did not place mint marks on its half-dollar coins. That's why if you look under the neck of President Kennedy and don't see a mint mark, you're holding the Philadelphia version. Over 153 million of these coins were produced that year, which makes it seem common. But common doesn't mean worthless. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Certain 1972 Kennedy half dollars, without a mint mark, are known to be incredibly valuable to collectors, especially when they are found in exceptional condition or have rare mint errors. Let's talk about why this particular coin has hidden value. First, even though it's a copper-nickel-clad coin with no silver content, collectors still seek out specific varieties, especially high-grade examples and era coins. Coins that have been well preserved since 1972, showing strong detail in Kennedy's hair, a clean strike, and no major contact marks, are worth much more than face value. Uncirculated examples, or those graded in mint state condition, often sell for several dollars, and in pristine condition, values can jump even higher. Now let's go deeper. One of the most valuable traits you can find on a 1972 Kennedy half dollar is a double die. This error happens during the minting process, when the die used to strike the coin has a slight misalignment, creating a doubling effect on parts of the design. If you notice doubling on the words Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date 1972, that coin could be significantly more valuable. Collectors pay a premium for these types of mint errors, and they're not always easy to spot. You have to look closely, but it's worth it. Even more valuable are off-center strikes. A 1972 Kennedy half dollar struck off-center, especially one that shows the full date but is missing part of the design, can sell for a high premium. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the higher the value. These coins are rare and always draw attention from era coin collectors. And then there are planchet errors. Some 1972 Kennedy half dollars were mistakenly struck on leftover 40% silver planchets, even though that composition officially ended in 1970. These transitional errors are incredibly rare, but they've been discovered. If your coin has the appearance of silver and weighs more than 11.34 grams, you could be holding a very valuable piece. Always weigh these coins and check the edge for clues. If it's solid in color rather than showing the copper core, it's worth having it professionally evaluated. Now, the value of a coin isn't just based on rare errors. Condition is key. A heavily circulated 1972 Kennedy half dollar with scratches, dings, or where is usually only worth its face value. But one in mint state condition, especially with original luster and no signs of cleaning, can bring in multiple dollars, sometimes more depending on the demand. And here's where it gets interesting. Even though this coin isn't rare in total mintage, finding one in perfect condition is much harder than people think. That's what gives it value. If you happen to come across this coin in a US Mint set from 1972, it might be in better condition than those found in circulation. Those mint set coins are often stored better and weren't handled, giving them an advantage in quality. If you have one of these, check it carefully. Coins from mint sets can retain their luster and sharp detail, making them more attractive to collectors. Collectors who build complete Kennedy half dollar sets need the 1972 Philadelphia issue to finish their collections. And while many may already have one, not all 1972 no mint mark coins are created equal. Some stand out in brilliance, strike, and preservation. If you've got one of those, your coin could be worth a lot more than pocket change. Let's also talk about another subtle but valuable aspect, die cracks and die chips. These are small raised lines or blobs that appear on the coin due to damage or fatigue in the minting die. These imperfections make each affected coin unique. Some collectors focus solely on die varieties, and even a minor chip near Kennedy's eye, the rim, or in the lettering can increase a coin's appeal and its value. Another thing to keep in mind is how few people actually take the time to look closely at their Kennedy half dollars. Most people assume they're all worth 50 cents, and they spend them without ever checking. That's what makes this such a valuable opportunity. If you're one of the few who knows what to look for, errors, high grades, rare planchets, you have a real advantage. Even though the 1972 Kennedy half dollar doesn't contain silver like its earlier counterparts, it still holds a strong place in U.S. coinage history. This was a time of transition, and the coins from this era reflect both the economic and cultural shifts in the country. For that reason alone, they're valuable to many collectors who appreciate the story these coins tell. Now think about this. There are people every day finding 1972 Kennedy half dollars in old change jars, coin rolls, or even as gifts from older relatives. Most don't realize what they have. But you do. You know that hidden among the millions of ordinary coins, there are valuable ones just waiting to be discovered. All it takes is knowledge, patience, and a good eye. Whether you're a beginner looking through your first coin roll or a seasoned collector searching for that next rare variety, the 1972 No Mint Mark Kennedy half dollar offers you real potential. The key is knowing that even coins with high mintage numbers can be incredibly valuable under the right conditions. Look for doubling. Check for off-center strikes. Weigh your coin. Study the details. That simple half dollar in your hand might be one of the rare few worth far more than most people would ever imagine. So next time you come across a 1972 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark, don't dismiss it. Examine it. Study it, because it just might be a valuable treasure hiding in plain sight. Now we'll explore the 1983 Kennedy half dollar coin with D mint mark. The 1983 Kennedy half dollar with a D mint mark may seem like an ordinary coin at first glance, but for collectors and coin enthusiasts, this specific issue holds more importance and potential value than many people realize. Minted at the Denver Mint, the 1983 D. Kennedy half dollar represents a time in American coinage when silver was no longer used in circulation coins, but the demand for the half dollar remained strong, both for collectors and in commerce. Let's begin with some background. In 1983, the United States Mint produced over 32 million Kennedy half dollars at the Denver Mint. That's a high mintage, which means many of these coins were put into circulation. But quantity does not mean common when it comes to condition, strike, and era potential. Even though there were millions minted, finding a 1983 D. Kennedy half dollar in top condition is much harder than people assume. That's one reason why this coin can be far more valuable than just 50 cents. One of the key things collectors look for in the 1983 D. Kennedy half dollar is overall condition. Most coins that entered circulation have wear, scratches, and loss of detail. But coins that remain in mint state condition, especially those with sharp luster, full detail in Kennedy's hair and the eagle's feathers, can carry a high premium. The difference between a circulated and uncirculated example of this coin can mean several dollars, and in top-rated examples, prices can go much higher. In fact, collectors actively search for 1983 D half dollars that grade MS65 or above. These are not easy to find. During the minting process, the Denver Mint was known for producing strong strikes, but many of these coins were quickly distributed into circulation, and they didn't receive the careful handling that coins in sets or proofs would. That's why mint state examples of this coin are considered highly collectible. But what makes the 1983 D. Kennedy half dollar even more interesting is the era potential. Mint errors can turn an ordinary coin into a truly valuable one. With this specific coin, collectors have discovered off-center strikes, clip planchets, die cracks, die clashes, and even double dies. Any of these can drastically increase a coin's value. A simple off-center strike, where part of the design is missing due to the coin being struck misaligned, can be worth several times more than face value. The more dramatic the off-center, the more collectors are willing to pay. Another important error to look for is die doubling. If you carefully inspect the text on the obverse, especially Liberty, "In God We Trust," or the date, 1983, and notice any signs of doubling, you may be looking at a double die error. These are popular among collectors, and depending on visibility and rarity, can carry significant premiums. While no official major double die varieties are listed for the 1983D, minor varieties and errors still hold value in the collector market. Die cracks and die chips are also fairly common on Kennedy half dollars from the 1980s, including the 1983D. These appear as raised lines or bumps on the coin due to damage to the dies used in minting. While not always highly valuable, coins with large or unusual die cracks can be of interest to variety collectors and sometimes bring in premium prices. Now let's talk about another factor, luster and strike quality. The luster on the 1983D Kennedy half dollar can vary depending on the condition it was stored in. Some coins show brilliant, almost proof-like shine, especially those that may have been pulled from mint sets or were never circulated. These coins are visually striking and often fetch higher prices when sold to collectors. Another hidden factor in the value of this coin is eye appeal. Two coins with the same grade can differ in market price, simply due to one having better overall visual quality. Collectors love coins that pop, those with full detail, clean surfaces, and a brilliant strike. The 1983D Kennedy half dollar, when found in this condition, is certainly more valuable than people think. One thing many collectors overlook is the market demand for complete Kennedy half dollar sets. A collector who is building a complete series of Kennedy halves from 1964 onward will need a strong 1983D example to complete their set. That demand makes high-quality 1983D coins consistently sought after in the collector marketplace. While this coin does not contain silver, it is a copper-nickel-clad coin with a pure copper core. It remains collectible due to its design, history, and variety potential. The 1983D is part of the broader Kennedy half dollar series that began in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy shortly after his assassination. The design by Gilroy Roberts on the obverse and Frank Gasparo on the reverse has become iconic in U.S. numismatics. This historical connection keeps interest in all Kennedy half dollars strong, especially those from earlier decades like the 1980s. Another valuable point is that in 1983, no half-dollar coins were issued by the U.S. Mint for general public sale in proof sets. That means the 1983D Kennedy half dollar was made only for circulation and mint sets. Since mint sets from that year were not produced in extremely high quantities, high-grade examples are harder to come by compared to other years where proof coins were more common. That's why, if you have a 1983D Kennedy half dollar, it's worth taking a close look. Examine the strike, check the surfaces for any marks or luster breaks, and inspect for unusual features that might indicate an error or variety. Even small differences, like a slightly filled mint mark or weak strike, can make a coin stand out to collectors who specialize in die varieties. If you're roll hunting, keep an eye out for these coins, especially those with crisp edges, solid rims, and strong design detail. Coins that have been stored well, perhaps in coin albums or from mint packaging, can be surprisingly valuable. Even among average circulated coins, you might find one with a rare error or in unusually high condition. Some collectors even report finding near-gem condition coins in bank rolls or in change, which is why many believe Kennedy half dollars from the early 1980s, including the 1983D, still have untapped value. And with silver coins being so widely searched, many collectors ignore the clad ones, giving you a better chance of finding one that others have passed over. In the end, the 1983D Kennedy half dollar is a coin worth taking seriously. Between the potential for high grades, market demand, historic importance, and era possibilities, this coin can absolutely be worth far more than its face value. Whether you're just starting out or you've been collecting for years, adding a quality 1983D to your collection, or selling one at the right time, can be a smart move. So the next time you come across a Kennedy half dollar dated 1983 with a D mint mark, don't spend it without a second look. What seems like an everyday coin might be one of the valuable ones that serious collectors are searching for. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful and you're excited about the hidden value in Kennedy half dollar coins, Make sure to check your own collection. You might be holding a rare treasure. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment with the year of your Kennedy half dollar, and subscribe for more videos about valuable coins, rare mint marks, and the secrets that make ordinary coins worth big money. More incredible coin facts and discoveries are coming up, so stay tuned. You don't want to miss what's next.